The world is starting to finally catch on, and I'm at Coastal Machine today with my buddy Cody. What am I talking about? You're about to find out. If you look just over Cody's right-hand shoulder, you have Pro Shop and Datanomix. Today we're talking Datanomix. And what I mean by the world is finally trying to catch on is we realize how important it is to truly know what's going on inside of our machines, not just tribal knowledge, not just guessing, and not 3 hours in the morning during your coffee sip to figure out what happened yesterday, because that's already in the past. We want to know about now and the future and how we can do better for all of our customers out there. At Coastal Machine, they've adapted. They figured this out, and walking through this factory, seeing tons of investment, millions of dollars in machines. This is what the future looks like. Cody, thank you so much for being here. And let's talk a little bit about Datanomix. I can go into all the different things that I've learned from my good friend Greg about the express lane and the coffee shop report and all of these areas. And it seems like every customer, and they keep growing and growing, have a different version of how Datanomix is truly helping them. How have you purposely utilized Datanomix?
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the biggest things is recognizing downtime. That's really a shocking factor when you first hook it up. You think you're performing well until you really get through machine monitoring, and it's tracking every second of the day. And that's been the biggest thing, is recognizing downtime. But on top of that, figuring out what to do. Okay, how can we eliminate this in the future to get more uptime, to get that utilization percentage higher?
I wish I could create a GIF or a meme right now of what you just said, because you're right. It is shocking because we think we know, right? And we know that cliche quote, we don't know what we don't know. But Datanomix makes us realize that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it truly does, yeah.
So I think about that to my shop days. I look at your machines here, and I look around the shop, and I see so many big, massive parts. I know you're into oil and gas and all that drilling. You're getting into defense and aerospace and expanding that portfolio. What would be more or less some of the average cycles of your run times on these machines?
Yeah, it can vary a lot, but sometimes, like I think this one right now, this is about a 7-8 hour cycle time. The 95 running behind me. On the oil and gas parts, some of the large turning and stuff we do like that, I mean, you're looking at, could be 12-hour cycle times, 14-hour cycle times. So yeah, it's pretty lengthy. Yeah.
I have two questions kind of as a tree branch grows based on what you just described, from 8 hours to 12 hours of cycle time. One is the importance of understanding what really happens during that 8 to 12 hours. And two, a lot of what I've seen as I go around the world jumping into shops, not like yours, but similar-ish to yours, is that there's one or two tools that do the majority of the cycle time, right? So if we can fine-tune those minority of tools, but majority of cycle time, that's really taking the guesswork out of prioritizing what we can do better with efficiency to now adjust our prices, talk with our customers, talk about lead time. It all goes into that playbook. No,
yeah, it sure does. Tooling, stuff like that. And then just recognizing most programs come with like an M1 and you have an optional stop. And, when you see that an 8 hour cycle time really ends up being like a 9 or 10 hour cycle time because of all the stops and stuff. So when you start recognizing that, you say, okay, what can we do to fine tune this, eliminate this? Why are we needing these stops and stuff like that? So it's tremendous. Yeah.
That's a really good point. I think about MO1 being a safety precaution at times. We want to make sure, certainly on our first one, if you're doing one-offs or something like that, you don't want to smash some machine. You're losing an hour. But you're so right, because we do, if we have a 12-hour cycle time, walk away from the machine. And we might lose 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes here, a bathroom break, a coffee break, a smoke break, whatever it might be. And understanding this is very, very important. But I have to ask you, do your colleagues that are walking around here, they're also polite and with smiles, but do they feel like Big Brother is watching them, or are they enjoying Datanomix as well?
No, they're enjoying it. They've really adapted to it and brought it on and really want to understand the beta that's behind it. And we're starting to get into tool life management and Datanomix with some of the production. And, we were actually digging into that yesterday with some of the jobs they're on. And he was just like, man, it shows, exactly which tool and how long it ran. And they felt it was amazing. It's just going to help them fine tune it. Look better for them on time tracking. Company does better. They do better as well. So
I again, going back to my machining days, Cody, I think, man, I was that guy that did not want Big Brother looking at me, but I'm also hyper competitive. I was playing professional soccer this side, you know, and I wanted to win it. And I would time myself, even on my stopwatch on my arm. I was going, can I beat my last cycle? Can I fine tune this program? Can I rewrite a couple of codes to make this work? For me, what you just described from everyone kind of realizing what's going on internally, realizing where we can make things better or maybe time our bathroom breaks better. It overall, it creates more success for the company. And I know that comes back to them as well, because we all want success for Coastal Machine.
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, one of the things with Datanomix is they have the time on tap. And when we first brought that on, it recognizes, you know, the time from this last been active, who's starting their machines in active mode first in the morning. So when we brought that on, they got real competitive. They wanted their machine at the top of that leaderboard to show every day. So, yeah.
I'm going to bring up a subject now that we like to be transparent and authentic all the time in these interviews, because we want everyone who's watching on an unbiased news channel to realize that they're getting money for their time, right? They're investing time. So the question I want to ask is, and we're going back full circle to that first joke that I want to start a GIF and a meme off of, which is we didn't realize. It was eye-opening. It was shocking even what we didn't realize. Has this also helped with understanding what we can quote a customer price-wise, what we can quote a customer lead time, what our lead times might look like, communication to make sure the end user, the customer you're working with, is going to be communicated with effectively to say it's going to be early, it's going to be late. I found that communication, whether it's early or late, as long as we're communicating it, it's okay. And has it helped with that as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Because once you understand utilization of your machine, then you can plug into your schedule. Okay, how efficient does this machine run? Machines don't run at 100% efficiency. So you have to have some type of multiplier in it. That way it just puts some type of gap on the schedule, some kind of breathing room. And then you can be more effective with your communications to the customer. Okay, yeah, this machine's running at this. I expect this to come off the machine at this point. From there, we'll be ready to go to you.
Well, that's why you got that pallet change from the engine. We're trying to keep that uptime.
Absolutely.
The last thing I'm going to ask you before we step away, and I thank you for this conversation, this time within your facility, and kudos since 2004, really growing this thing from 3,500 square feet into above 35,000 at this point. I love seeing American manufacturing grow like this. But would you recommend Datanomix for other folks out there? I started this off by saying the world is starting to realize, but there's still a truth out there that people are hesitant. And it's people like you, companies like yours, that help others go, okay, I realize I should do this now. So would you recommend Datanomix for others?
Absolutely. You know, for years, I didn't think we were ready for machine monitoring. I always thought, man, that's more in a production environment. You know, machines need to be running 100% of the time. And quite truly, it's very beneficial in a job shop type environment, because there's a lot of changeovers. So you really need to try to find out, okay, what's taking this changeover so long? What's taking this setup so long? And if you can eliminate that in a job shop type environment, I mean, that's really good. And now as we're moving more towards a production side with aerospace and defense, it just helps even further, because then we can really try to fine tune it with the production stuff.
Nailed it. I mean, if I had a hammer, I mean, no nails are sticking out. We're feeling good about that. Thank goodness. You nailed it, my friend. And that's exactly what we want to convey to everyone watching is, we think about machine monitoring being only for the giants out there, only for those people with 100, 200 machines, only with high production and not the mix of production, right? And you quoted it perfectly. So thank you so much. I see your machines are running. Stay being monitored the whole time. This is Cody. This is my buddy, Coastal Machine. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. We'd love to answer anything that you might have concerns with. Jumping into machine monitoring, there's a lot of questions that come with that, and Datanomix has all the answers, which is why they're here being successful continually as we evolve into the next step of, we call it 4.0, but maybe 5.0. We're going to keep calling new acronyms, right? But at the end of the day, we're all trying to evolve to be the biggest, best version of ourselves. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again soon.